Welcome back to our channel. Don't let a penny pass you by, find out its surprising value. In 1979, the United States Mint produced one of the most fascinating pennies in U.S. history, the 1979 1-cent penny. To most people, a penny is simply a small unit of currency with very little value, something you find scattered in the bottom of your pockets or lost in the couch cushions. But in the world of coin collecting, every coin tells a story, and the 1979 penny is no exception. It's a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance, but in reality, it holds a significant place in the annals of American coinage and is a shining example of how rarity and unique characteristics can turn something seemingly insignificant into an extraordinary treasure. To understand why the 1979 penny is so special, we need to take a closer look at the history of U.S. pennies. The penny, a coin worth 1 cent, has been a part of the American currency system since the country's founding. Over the years, the design of the penny has changed several times, reflecting different periods of American history and shifts in public sentiment. However, the penny most of us are familiar with today features the image of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, a design that has graced the penny since 1909. In 1979, the penny was still in circulation with the iconic Lincoln portrait on the obverse, front, designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner. On the reverse, back, the coin featured the familiar image of the Lincoln Memorial, which had been part of the penny's design since 1959. But while the design remained largely unchanged, the year 1979 marked a key turning point in the history of the penny and U.S. coinage in general. A significant change was taking place in the minting process that would affect not just the pennies of 1979, but the future of American coinage. In 1979, the U.S. Mint began using a new process to strike the coins, one that was meant to improve the efficiency and precision of minting. This process, however, would lead to some unexpected results, and some of the pennies produced that year were struck with imperfections that would make them stand out in the world of coin collecting. These imperfections, minting errors, are often what set certain coins apart from the rest, turning them into rare and highly sought-after collectibles. Among the many coins minted in 1979, a small number of them had characteristics that would make them incredibly valuable in the future, with certain varieties becoming almost legendary in the coin collecting world. One of the most famous varieties of the 1979 penny is known as the 1979 double die obverse. This error occurred when the die used to strike the coins was improperly aligned, causing the design to be stamped twice. As a result, the words and numbers on the obverse of the penny, especially the date, 1979, and the word Liberty, are doubled, creating a distinctive and easily recognizable flaw. To the untrained eye, this doubling might not be immediately obvious, but for coin collectors, it's a clear indication of a rare and valuable error coin. What makes the 1979 double die obverse penny so desirable is its rarity and the fact that it was produced in relatively small numbers. The error occurred due to a mistake in the minting process, and only a limited number of these coins were struck before the problem was corrected. As a result, the 1979 double die obverse penny has become one of the most sought-after varieties in the world of numismatics, with collectors eagerly searching for these coins to add to their collections. It's important to note that not every 1979 penny is a double die obverse. In fact, most 1979 pennies were minted without any such error, and these coins are still worth only their face value of 1 cent. However, for those lucky enough to find a 1979 penny with the double die error, the coin can be worth much more, far more than just 1 cent. In fact, the value of the 1979 double die obverse penny can reach staggering amounts, depending on its condition and rarity. The value of a 1979 double die obverse penny can vary based on several factors, including the coin's grade, the condition it's in, and the specific characteristics of the error. Coins that are in mint condition, with minimal wear and tear, are worth significantly more than coins that have been heavily circulated. Similarly, coins with more pronounced and visible doubling on the design tend to fetch higher prices, as they are more distinct and easier to identify. For the lucky collector who manages to find a high-grade 1979 double die obverse penny, the reward can be substantial. Now, you're probably wondering, just how much is a 1979 double die obverse penny worth today? Well, depending on the coin's condition, it can be worth anywhere from hundreds of dollars to thousands. In the rarest of cases, where the coin is in pristine condition and features a highly visible doubling, the value can skyrocket. Some of the most prized examples of the 1979 double-die obverse penny have sold for as much as $145,000. Yes, that's right, $145,000 for a penny that was once worth just 1 cent. It's hard to fathom that such a small coin could command such a hefty price, but that's the magic of coin collecting. When rarity and demand intersect, the value of a coin can increase exponentially, and the 1979 double-die obverse penny is a perfect example of this phenomenon. So, how did the 1979 penny go from being a simple coin worth just 1 cent to becoming a rare and valuable collectible worth over $145,000? The answer lies in the nature of minting errors. Errors like the double die occur when there is a flaw in the minting process, and while they may seem like mistakes, they are exactly what collectors look for. Errors make the coin unique, and rarity often equates to higher value in the world of numismatics. It's also worth noting that the 1979 penny is a significant coin in the history of U.S. currency because it represents the last year in which the penny was minted with the large date style. Starting in 1982, the U.S. Mint switched to a small date design for the penny, marking a subtle change in the way the coins were produced. The 1979 penny, therefore, is a key piece in the timeline of U.S. coinage, and its unique characteristics only add to its appeal among collectors. Now, you might be wondering how you can spot a 1979 double-die obverse penny and determine if it's worth a small fortune. The best way to identify this error coin is to carefully examine the date, 1979, on the obverse of the penny. If you notice that the numbers are doubled, especially the 9 and 7, then you may have found a double-die obverse penny. You should also inspect the word Liberty to check for any doubling in that area as well. The more pronounced the doubling, the more valuable the coin is likely to be. For collectors and enthusiasts, the hunt for rare and valuable coins like the 1979 double-die obverse penny is an exciting part of the hobby. Some collectors search through piles of pennies at coin shops or scour through their pocket change, hoping to find that elusive rare coin that could change their lives. Others focus on building comprehensive collections, with an eye on coins that tell a story or mark a significant moment in history. Whatever the reason, the world of coin collecting is filled with opportunities to discover treasures, and the 1979 penny is a shining example of how even the most humble of coins can become priceless artifacts. In conclusion, the 1979 USA 1-cent penny is far more than just a simple piece of currency. It is a rare and valuable collectible that has captured the attention of coin collectors around the world. Whether it's the unique double-die obverse error, its historical significance, or the sheer rarity that makes it so appealing, this penny is a prime example of how seemingly ordinary objects can hold immense value over time. Today, a high-grade 1979 double-die obverse penny can fetch as much as $145,000, a testament to the incredible world of coin collecting and the power of rarity in determining value. So, next time you find a 1979 penny, take a moment to inspect it closely. You might just be holding a piece of history in your hands, a rare and valuable coin worth far more than its original 1-cent face value. The 1982 USA 1-cent penny holds a special place in the world of American numismatics. At first glance, it might appear to be just another typical penny, no different from the billions of others that circulated in everyday transactions. However, as any seasoned coin collector will tell you, this seemingly humble penny has a fascinating backstory that makes it unique in ways you might not expect. In fact, the 1982 penny has become one of the most talked-about coins among collectors and investors alike. So, what exactly makes this coin so special, and why has it captured the attention of the numismatic community? Let's take a deeper dive into the history, design, and legacy of the 1982 USA 1-cent penny. The year 1982 was a turning point in the history of U.S. currency, and the 1-cent penny was at the center of it all. To understand why the 1982 penny is so significant, we first need to look at the broader context of U.S. coinage. The penny has been a cornerstone of American currency since the very beginning, with the first U.S. penny struck in 1793. Over the years, the design of the penny has evolved, but it has consistently featured key figures and symbols that resonate with American ideals. The most iconic of these figures is Abraham Lincoln, whose portrait has been featured on the obverse front of the penny since 1909. His image has become synonymous with the penny, and it remains one of the most recognizable designs in the history of U.S. coinage. By the time 1982 rolled around, the penny had undergone various design changes, with the most significant being the adoption of the Lincoln Memorial Reverse in 1959, designed by Frank Gasparo. This reverse design remained in use for decades and became a symbol of the nation's respect for its 16th president, Abraham Lincoln, as well as a symbol of American unity and strength. But 1982 would be a year of major change for the penny, and this change would set the stage for the rise of the 1982 1-cent penny as a coin that would eventually attract collectors' attention. The key change that occurred in 1982 was a shift in the composition of the penny. Prior to that year, the penny had been made primarily of copper. However, rising copper prices led the U.S. Mint to search for a more cost-effective alternative for minting pennies. As a result, in 1982, the U.S. Mint made a significant change to the composition of the penny. Coins minted before mid-1982 were made from a copper alloy mix, containing 95% copper and 5% zinc. But after mid-1982, the penny's composition was altered to a core of 99.2% zinc, with only a thin copper plating covering the coin. This change was driven by economic necessity, as the rising costs of copper made the continued production of all copper pennies unsustainable. This change in composition led to the creation of two distinct varieties of the 1982 penny. On one hand, you have the copper alloy pennies, minted before mid-1982, and on the other hand, you have the zinc core pennies, minted after mid-1982. Both types are categorized as part of the 1982 series, but they are different in terms of their metal composition, and more importantly, in their numismatic appeal. The subtle differences in these pennies, particularly the transition between the copper alloy and zinc core varieties, would become a point of interest for coin collectors in the years that followed. But there's another factor that makes the 1982 penny particularly intriguing: the number of minting errors and varieties that emerged that year. Coin collectors know that minting errors, whether they be doubling, off-centering, or other anomalies, are some of the most sought-after finds in the world of numismatics. In 1982, several errors were discovered in the production of the 1-cent penny, including a rare variety of the coin with a missing mint mark. These errors, although relatively few in number, would make certain 1982 pennies highly desirable to collectors who specialize in rare and unique coins. Among the many interesting 1982 penny varieties, one of the most notable is the 1982 D copper alloy penny. This coin was struck at the Denver Mint and is part of the pre-1982 copper alloy series. While most 1982 pennies were struck using the new zinc composition, a small number of copper alloy pennies were accidentally minted with the D mint mark at the Denver Mint. These pennies are exceedingly rare and have become the stuff of legend among coin collectors. A penny that was struck in error and carries a significant mark of rarity is precisely what numismatists covet, and this coin is no exception. Over the years, the value of the 1982 D copper alloy penny has steadily risen, as fewer and fewer of these coins remain in circulation. The rarity of these coins, combined with their unique historical significance, is what gives the 1982 penny its collector appeal. For years, collectors have searched through rolls of pennies, hoping to find these elusive copper alloy versions, as well as any pennies with minting errors. The hunt for these rare 1982 pennies is part of what makes coin collecting so exciting, the possibility of stumbling upon a coin that could be worth a small fortune. And when it comes to the 1982 penny, there are coins that can fetch impressive sums, particularly the rare and error-prone varieties. But what about the value of the 1982 penny as a whole? How much could a single penny, which originally had a face value of just 1 cent, be worth today? The answer to that question depends on the specific variety of the coin and its condition. While the vast majority of 1982 pennies are worth only their face value, certain rare varieties have skyrocketed in value over the years. As with any collectible, the condition of the coin is a critical factor in determining its worth. A well-preserved 1982 penny, especially one with a rare minting error or one of the sought-after copper alloy varieties, can command a premium price. For example, the 1982 D copper alloy penny with the minting error has sold for amounts in the range of $138,000 in some rare cases. Yes, you heard that correctly, $138,000 for a single penny. This high price tag may seem astonishing, but in the world of coin collecting, rarity and uniqueness often drive prices to unexpected heights. It's important to note that not every 1982 penny will fetch such a high value. But for those lucky enough to find one of the rare, mint-era varieties or the elusive copper alloy pennies, the potential payoff can be extraordinary. It's remarkable to think that a coin which was once only worth 1 cent could now command such an impressive price. But this is a testament to the nature of coin collecting, how small imperfections, changes in design, and subtle differences in composition can turn an ordinary coin into a treasure. In the case of the 1982 penny, collectors have long recognized its importance, and as more people discover the rare and valuable varieties, the price of the coin continues to rise. So, what's the takeaway for viewers who may be wondering if they have a hidden gem in their possession? The next time you come across a 1982 penny, take a closer look. If it's one of the rare copper alloy varieties or if it has a minting error, you may be holding onto something much more valuable than just a penny. Whether it's a well-preserved 1982 copper alloy penny, a penny with a unique minting error, or another rare variety, the value of these coins can be astonishing. For some lucky collectors, the 1982 penny could be worth $138,000 or more. In the end, the 1982 USA 1-cent penny is a prime example of how numismatics, like any other form of collecting, can turn what seems like an ordinary item into a rare and valuable treasure. From the transition in composition to the discovery of rare minting errors, the 1982 penny has become a cornerstone of American coin collecting. So, the next time you handle a penny, remember that there's more to this little coin than meets the eye. You might just be holding onto a piece of history worth far more than you ever imagined. The 2006 USA 1-cent penny might seem like just another small, insignificant coin that you see in your pocket change, tossed into a jar, or occasionally forgotten at the bottom of a purse. But for those with an eye for rare and collectible coins, the 2006 penny is anything but ordinary. In fact, some collectors consider it a hidden gem in the world of numismatics, and its history and significance have made it a prized possession for coin enthusiasts everywhere. So, what makes this penny so special, and why has it become one of the most sought-after coins in recent years? Let's take a journey into the history, design, and value of the 2006 1-cent penny, exploring how this humble coin went from being worth just 1 cent to becoming a highly valuable collectible. The story of the 2006 penny begins with the broader context of U.S. coinage. The penny has been a staple of American currency since 1793, and its design has evolved over the years to reflect changing tastes, historical events, and advancements in technology. However, by 2006, the design of the penny had remained relatively consistent for several decades. The obverse, front, of the coin still featured the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, a design that had been in place since 1909. On the reverse, back, the penny depicted the Lincoln Memorial, a design that had been introduced in 1959 to honor the nation's 16th president. But while the design of the penny remained largely unchanged, 2006 marked a year of significance for the U.S. Mint, especially in terms of the production process and the coin's composition. While many people don't think twice about the materials that go into minting coins, these factors are crucial to understanding why the 2006 penny is so noteworthy. The composition of the penny had undergone significant changes in the years leading up to 2006. In 1982, the U.S. Mint transitioned from producing pennies made primarily of copper to coins made from a zinc core with a thin copper plating. This change was made in response to the rising costs of copper, which had made it increasingly expensive to produce the all-copper pennies. By the time 2006 rolled around, the new zinc-based composition had been in use for nearly 2 decades, and the penny was a familiar sight in American circulation. Yet, despite the changes in the materials used to make pennies, the coin's appearance remained largely the same. But what sets the 2006 penny apart from other years of similar design is the subtle differences in the quality of the minting process, the condition of the coins, and, of course, the rare and sought-after errors that can turn a seemingly standard penny into a valuable collector's item. In 2006, the U.S. Mint produced billions of 1-cent coins to meet the demands of the American public. While the vast majority of these coins were struck with no significant defects or anomalies, a small number of them did contain errors, which, as any coin collector will tell you, is precisely what makes certain coins so desirable. These minting errors can include things like off-center strikes, double strikes, or flaws in the die that cause the design to appear incorrectly. Mint errors are highly prized in the numismatic world because they are unique and rare, making them stand out among the millions of ordinary coins that are produced each year. One of the most notable varieties of the 2006 penny is the 2006 Wide AM penny, which was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. This coin is part of a rare group of pennies that feature a subtle but important difference in the spacing between the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse. In some of the 2006 pennies, the letters are spaced further apart, creating a distinct visual difference compared to the standard design. This minor change in spacing, while not immediately obvious to the casual observer, has caught the attention of collectors, and these coins have become highly sought after in the years since they were minted. The 2006 Wide AM penny is just one example of the types of rare varieties that can be found within this particular year of penny production. Another example is the 2006 Double Die penny, where the design elements on the obverse are doubled due to an error in the minting process. Coins with double dies can be some of the most valuable in the world of coin collecting, as they are extremely rare and visually striking. While double dies are not common in every year of coin production, when they do occur, they often fetch impressive sums at auction, and the 2006 Double Die penny is no exception. So, how can you tell if you have a valuable 2006 penny? The key is to look carefully at the details of the coin, particularly the spacing of the letters on the reverse and the clarity of the design. If you come across a penny with a noticeable difference in the spacing of the AM letters, or if you see signs of doubling on the obverse, you may have stumbled upon a highly valuable coin. If the coin is in excellent condition, the value can increase even further, as collectors are always on the lookout for coins that are in mint or near mint condition. Now, you might be wondering just how much a 2006 penny could be worth today. After all, pennies are usually worth only 1 cent, and the idea that a coin worth 1 cent could be worth thousands of dollars might seem far-fetched. But in the world of numismatics, anything is possible. As we've seen with other rare coins, when a minting error or unique variety is discovered, the value of the coin can skyrocket. In the case of the 2006 Wide AM penny, collectors have paid as much as $125,000 for a high-grade example of the coin. That's right, $125,000 for a single penny. How can a coin that was originally worth just 1 cent command such a staggering price? The answer lies in its rarity and its demand among collectors. Coins with unique features, especially those with minting errors or design anomalies, are considered more valuable than those in typical circulation. The 2006 Wide AM penny is rare enough that collectors are willing to pay a premium for it, especially if the coin is in pristine condition. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes, as collectors strive to obtain the finest examples of these rare varieties. But why do collectors care so much about a coin that's worth less than $1? The answer lies in the intrinsic value of collecting itself. For many numismatists, collecting coins is about more than just their monetary worth. It's about history, rarity, and the excitement of discovery. The hunt for rare coins is a thrilling part of the hobby, and for collectors who specialize in pennies, the 2006 Wide AM penny is a major prize. The value of a coin is often determined by a combination of factors, including its rarity, condition, and desirability among collectors. In the case of the 2006 penny, its unique design error and rarity have made it a sought-after coin, and its value continues to rise as more collectors realize its worth. In the world of coin collecting, there's always the potential to find a hidden gem in your pocket change, a treasure that could be worth far more than you ever imagined. The 2006 USA 1 cent penny is a perfect example of this. What may seem like a simple and common coin is actually a fascinating part of American coinage history, and with its rare varieties and minting errors, it has become a prized collectible. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or someone who's just starting to explore the hobby, the 2006 penny serves as a reminder that sometimes the most valuable coins are the ones that you least expect. So, the next time you find a 2006 penny in your pocket change, take a moment to examine it closely. You might just be holding onto a rare and valuable piece of history, one that could be worth $125,000 or more. For coin collectors, that's the kind of discovery that makes the hunt for rare coins so exciting and rewarding.